Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Turn yourself into gold and then live wherever you please. After realizing God and divine love in solitude, one may live in the world as well. That is, you become, nothing binds you, you'll be free from the karmic cycle. The main thing with the spiritual awakening itself, first time you will see that you are not under the cycle of karma. Whatever you do, because the body identity breaks. I am Atman, I am not body. With spiritual awakening you may not know who you are, but you'll immediately know I am not body. The bond between the Chaitanya and Sharira, the Brahmaganti, breaks off. And then just with spiritual awakening, not God realization, it's still far away. So you are just crossing Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. Entering into Vijnanamaya Kosha itself is spiritual awakening. With spiritual awakening, all things, the karmic cycle you come out. And you are not stained by, if you do good also it will not affect you. If you do bad also it will not affect you. But you have come to such a state you can never do bad. Because you have been able to transcend the mind, because all the propensities and tendencies you have acquired, all the past momentum that can take you towards the world and world of enjoyments have been already dissolved. You have become gold now. Nothing can stain you anymore. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. After realizing God, imagine, you see what depths you are entering, the whole bodily existence, the subtle body, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, Buddhi Manas, all the 17 parts you are crossing over. You are getting released totally from the bond of mind also. And from there you are crossing the ignorance, the Kalaratri, Maharatri and Moharatri are going to get dissolved. The ignorance, sheets of ignorance are going to dissolve, and you get the Atma Jnana, you get the Paramatma Jnana. So here you see the unimaginable purity. You are spirit yourself, pure spirit. Then at least after spiritual awakening there was a small identity with the body that also breaks off. You are free, you are infinite, you are eternal now. You are pure spirit. So one may live in the world as well. He pervades everything and makes that body a center of acting through which he is playing as if, in and through. He is everywhere, he sees himself in others, he sees in every object himself, pervading himself. Yet in this bodily existence, he makes it Kendra, his Kendra of activities. This is the state of Jivan Mukta. To Rakal's father, that's why I ask the youngsters to stay with me, for they will develop love of God. Staying here a few days. After that, they can very well lead the life of a householder. Rakal's father, Rakal is later on Swami Brahmananda. That boy used to come, college going boy, and his father has come, and Rakhal used to come and stay now and then. The parents and the house people will be alarmed. What is happening? Why is he going there, staying at night? This, that, and all. But it becomes necessary. We need as much the inner world as the external world. We must have the external education of the school and colleges, of the secular education, and we need the inner spiritual knowledge also. We need to earn in the world, we have to earn in the spiritual world also. Japa, dhyana, all this will bring you spiritual wealth. And similarly, you must be updating yourself in the world. World is a very competitive place, and it's of entirely different nature, but it can never give you peace. Every person is in constant search of three things. Not only every person, not only every human, but every being on this earth or anywhere in this universe, you see, constantly in search of peace. I want peace. I want happiness. I want freedom. These three things every soul is aspiring for. External affluence can never give you whatever science has given you external affluence, be it computers, various types of enjoyments, cars and fridges, all these things, flights, everything, all things can never give you peace or bliss, or maximum it can give you a few kshanika, a momentary sense pleasures and nothing more. Behind that momentary sense pleasures, a stream of pain and suffering starts flowing. Only that it can give. External affluence cannot remove your inner void. The inner void has to be taken away through inner growth. Spiritual growth becomes absolutely necessary for getting, because the peace, bliss and freedom which you are searching is not there in the external world. It cannot be acquired from. It is within you. It has to be manifest. It manifests through the spiritual practices alone. Through spiritual practices alone, you will be able to manifest this inner peace, bliss and joy and total freedom. It comes out. It slowly projects out. The manifestation of this from the depths becomes what you experience is absolute equanimity. Sukha, dukkha, you start seeing same thing. There is no difference. The bandhu, shatru look same. One entity. The shatrutva and mitritva goes off. The dukkha, suffering that the pain is giving, and the joy it is giving, both are mental states, and I am beyond it, because I have attained inner peace, inner bliss. The external doesn't matter. I am able to see everything we can, mana, apmana, the praises and blames are same to me. One by one, we go on seeing the absolute equanimity everywhere. Mana, apamana, labhahani, victory and defeat. All this look same. Because inner is filled with joy, peace and freedom. Inner freedom, inner joy, inner peace is acquired. External, we need not acquire and play with it externally. We think we will get one day or the other, I will get that joy outside. No, it is not there at all. It is searching for a black cat in dark room where it is not. You will never get it. So this is the world, and this is what our inner requirements are entirely different from external searches. We are searching for something, but our inner soul is panting for peace, panting for freedom, panting for bliss, joy, which the external bodily existence, senses and mind are searching for the momentary pleasures of the world. So seeking, inner seeking is different from external search and external acquirements. This difference is dissolved. Now he sees divine everywhere, divine within. All first thing he experiences is equanimity. He has become absolutely silent, absolutely peaceful. Nothing affects now. Wherever he is there, wherever he has fallen, with anybody, anywhere, under any condition, he is same at all times. This is what we find in this condition. So, after that, they can very well lead the householder's life. Devotee, if God is responsible for everything, then why should people speak of good and evil, virtue and vice? One commits sin also by the will of God. Is not that so? Another devotee, how can we understand the will of God? Master, there is no doubt that virtue and vice exist in the world, but God Himself is unattached to them. There may be good and bad smells in the air, but the air is not attached to them. The very nature of God's creation is that good and evil, righteousness, unrighteousness will always exist in this world. Among the trees in the garden, one finds mango and jackfruit, and hog plum too. Have not you noticed that even wicked men are needed? Suppose there are rough tenants on the estate, then landlord must send a ruffian to control them. The conversation again turned to the life of householder. There is a devotee is asking, if God is responsible for everything, then why should people speak of good and evil, virtue and vice? One commits sin also by the will of God. Is not that so? These are the questions commonly asked by people who have not understood the principle of existence, principle of life, and principle of evolution and involution. If God, actually at any time we do not know what God means. Still we are talking about God. If God is responsible for everything, God is responsible for everything is told by an enlightened soul after enlightenment. It is true, but if everything, then why should people speak of good and evil? Good and evil is not there in nature, in God it is not there. In nature also it is not there. We call a thing good or bad according to the result it gives. Suppose my one action is giving me happiness, I call the action to be good. If it gives me suffering, I call the action I have done as bad. According to the fruit I am getting, I call it good and bad. In nature gives only action and reaction. This world is three important things of this world is time, space and causation. We are in the relative existence. There is absolute existence where there is neither time nor space nor causation, in which the universe appears and disappears. But this time, space and causation bound existence we call relative existence. We are in the relative existence. In relative existence, the law of cause and effect. Behind everything there is a cause, and every cause gives birth to a effect. Now, this book is here in this form. There is a perfect cause behind. I am here in this way. There is a perfect cause behind. All my experience, lives after lives, had made my behavior like this. All my karmas has given me a body like this. So there is a perfect match between this is called law of causation. Behind everything, in whatever state it is there, whatever it is, behind it, there is a perfect cause. So this cause, nature sees only cause and effect. Throw a ball, the ball comes out back in your hand. Action and reaction are equal in a simple law of physics. Whatever you do, you have to reap. So when the fruit comes back, if it is giving you happiness and joy, then we call it good. And when this is called by man, not by God or nature. We give the importance. Don't do bad, my child. It will give you suffering. When the elders or sages or saints say, don't do good and bad things or do good things, it is human understanding. In nature, it is cause and effect. Inevitable law. What do you want? You want happiness, joy? Then do good. If you want suffering and bondage, do bad. So here the question of if God is doing, if God is the doer, all these things doesn't come into picture. One commits sin also by the will of God. Is not that so? Will of God. Another devotee is telling, how can we understand the will of God? But here you see, will of God is the final will. And it works as a law. Now, a person, an engineer or a scientist creates an engine. Engine is working. It is will of the scientist how he has designed it. But it moves according to a perfect law. This law, he is creator of a law, and law takes care unless you go back to the source who has done the law to get exemption from this law. God's will is that whoever does whatever things, he has to reap the fruit. God's will is that this creation must come and one must become multiply into many. Just like in dream, one mind becomes the whole world, dream world. Like this, God has become himself the whole world. Now, it is God's will that it has made all these things. Now, individually it is working at the Prakriti level, nature's level. And nature is very strict and stern. It has to go according to the law. Whatever is the law, touch the fire, it will burn. You can't escape from the law of nature. But if you can transcend the nature and go beyond, you are free from it. Now, even it's like a government. God is like something, the government. Now, government has made so many laws. And the highest authority of the government, be it a president or prime minister, he is in charge and he is the looking after everything. He has made a law. Where there is no roads, the roads have to be put. Where there is this one, you have to collect the taxes from people. anybody does crime. All these laws are made. But a person is being punished because of his wrong making by judgment given by a court, and he has actually done it. The question doesn't, if you ask a president or prime minister, how this, he says, no, it's according to law. I don't know even that person, nor I don't know the judgment given. He has done also, I do not know. Everything is working under law. Then he can ask for pardon. I have done the murder. I have been given death sentence. President will never know, nor prime minister will know, but it happens according to the law. But prime minister and president have the right to give exemption or freedom from that death sentence, because they are the final authorities in law. God is like that. He need not even know what is happening anywhere. By His law, everything. Second thing is, it is He who illumines the world. Like sun. Sun illumines the world. In sunshine, one makes a forgery, another makes a kind service to someone. Somebody is doing good, somebody is doing bad in the same sunshine. When sun sets, nobody does anything. So when sun is not at all responsible for what they do. Similarly, another example you take as the space. Space gives room for everything to exist within itself. There is fire, there is water, there is air, there are human beings, there are so many beings, all there, but it neither instigates them to do, nor participates in their action, nor gets affected by it. Fire cannot burn the space, though space has given room for this fire to exist within it. It accommodates everything. It gives existence to all that exists, but doesn't get affected by it. Water cannot wet, fire cannot burn. If space, nothing can stay in it. Without space, nothing can exist. God is like that. He has given everything to exist within Him, but He is not affected. And when everything winds up, He alone remains. Like in dream world. In dream world, whatever you see, elephant or horses or people or suffering or joys, everything is mind. Suffering is mind. Joy is mind. All the beings you see, when you wake up, when dream winds up, there is nothing but mind alone. All that you saw, experienced, also it was not there when you were experiencing. One was appearing as many. This is the principles by which we go ultimately. All these questions are empty questions. It shows that he is not truly entering into the truth, nor, that's why Sri Ramakrishna says, and all the whole of the Hindu scriptures from ancient times, hold on to truth, hold on to truth. Hold on to truth. We think telling as things as they are is telling truth. No, he is holding on to truth. No. I say, now I am going to study, and my whole being immersed in it, I am holding on to truth there. I thought I would study, but things are attracting me. Mind, something else is coming. I sit for japa, then nothing must except japa and God's presence. Nothing should come to me. I am holding on to truth that I am going to do japa. I am going to do dhyana. I am going to, that truth must be there, and I am sitting for dhyana. Everywhere, till the end we see, we have to hold on to the truth and walk. So here we see, then the question, all these questions never arise, because you are holding on to truth and walking. All things become clear. All doubts disappear if you hold on to truth. Sri Ramakrishna gives the beautiful example of the air. There may be good and bad smells in the air, but air itself is not attached to them. Just air is flowing, it picks up fragrance from a flower and goes, and by the time it goes, while carrying also, it is not attached, nor it is affected by it. It leaves and goes. Wherever it passes, it carries its smell and leaves and goes off. How much uninvolved you see. It looks as if air itself is smelling. No, air itself is not smelling. It's carrying the smell without being affected by it. In God's creation, all these things, opposites are there. Good things are also there, bad things are also. It is always when one becomes two, always there will be negative and positive. They merge ultimately back to become that one. So one becoming two, there is negativity and positivity. This negativity, dharma, adharma, will be always there. Good and bad will be, that is we call duality. Sukha, dukkha, mana, apamana, all these are dualities. Pain and pleasure. Whatever we can see, there is an opposite thing to that. Good fruits, nourishing fruits are there, there are poisonous fruits also. Same, in the same world. Wherever you see something good, wherever there is light, there is a shadow behind. So this they move together. And how do they form? Because of your identification with body. You have two existences, spiritual existence is there, bodily existence is there. When you move towards bodily existence, you see duality. When you move towards spiritual existence, you start seeing oneness. Everywhere you see oneness. Everything is divine. When you come to the body level, everything is good and bad, right and wrong. Duality manifests. And Sri Ramakrishna comes, yes, as much good, bad also is equally necessary. It is he gives the example, if people are uncontrollable, a person, ruffian, has to be sent to control. Like a mob is going beyond the control, then the military comes there immediately. So good and bad. And another place he says, because there is good and bad, the worth of goodness is shown, and bad makes the contrast to highlight the good, and good is closer to the reality. We have to move towards the reality. The goodness taking us to reality is highlighted by the bad, which is taking another towards involution, towards suffering. This is taking towards the holding on to the higher truths. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrutavigraham Vai Eshavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.